Welcome to Onivia Highlights. These are the best highlights from the LEC Spring 2020.
Was looking for something, but just places a ward towards where the Razorbeaks will spawn and then backs away.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hard when you do start the Charm in the early matchup, because traditionally you want to start with the Foxfire, use that to get your Electrocute proc alongside your auto attacks, but going for the Charm means you have to delay the Foxfire and the Orb of Deception, so a lot of your early trade patterns get nullified. So Jojo now getting to push back out and get some nice damage on the caps, but I think it'll just be about trying to control this wave and look for a reset for himself.
Yeah, you can see Lebrov coming across to try and cover him a little bit as well, and you're doing a good job of tracking him. Hook's going to land him onto Jojo. He's force low, 200 HP, has to flash, but Jojo's just dead. You knew Lebrov was there! And he still gets hooked and he still dies!
Big whoopsie from Jojo. And a Charm from Caps. He's been doing a fantastic job, and like to echo what Goldberg was talking about yesterday on the desk, it feels like he's kind of become that late game insurance plan for MKOI. The Smolder obviously just giving that story more emphasis, but the fact that he kind of gets left to his own devices to try and be by himself, then start to scale up into the later portion of the game and just be a menace in team fights says a lot. But I think yesterday we saw a little bit of a different story where Alvaro and Supa felt much more like they were trying to play through a strong 2v2 against Kalist and Targamas and see if they could take over a bit there.
I just love it when players have those statement games, especially after things like the All-Pro comes out. He's the only MCOY player that wasn't a part of any of the top teams, and then he just has a performance like that. It just goes to show why the team believes in him and what he's capable of doing. We'll see if he can pull it off today, as right now he's grouped up with his jungler.
Alvaro's going to go in, hooked out of the knocker, but the chase continues onto Lebrov. Last Embrace will get the CC onto Elioya. Lebrov with the Titan's Wrath, not enough shielding. Super on the board for MKOI.
Huge pick by MKOI. You could see Jojo was basically keeping Caps and Skewmond entertained around that mid lane, baiting them to
change up your AD carry pool.
And keep my eyes on Caps though. He's wandering down towards his bot lane, and there's a potential lockup from Broken Blade coming through. Maybe Mirwin in a little bit here.
Jumps in, Broken Blade has that Hexagol made, and Mirwin dodges away from the charm. Dawning Shadow coming out though. Mirwin with the public execution is publicly executed. Grand Star fall in by Elioya, will get one in response. So far a 1-for-1. Caps, another charm is going to connect. But Elioya healthy enough to get underneath the tower. The question is, will G2 force a dive here with Skewmond and Lebrov on their way across?
Alvaro's on the way as well, trying desperately to get in, but splash forward.
Cyclones gives you movement speed though, and Elioya can't get away from Skewmond. Aegis Assault blocks the decimating smash or the crushing blow there from Skewmond. Alvaro joins the fray. Lebrov looking to walk away. Skewmond, even with a Shattering Strike coming out, he's ignited. Magnus Storm as well. Skewmond's gonna die here. Probably to the minions. It's Alvaro who claims the kill.
That's such a big turnaround for MKOI, because it's not only the fact that they got the kill in the bottom side. Jojo was pushing in that top lane and crashed a big wave. How they kind of corral teams into difficult choices on the map, and I think this is where you do start to get a little nervous as G2, because this is not an MKOI that will just make often a silly mistake, but might be a TP behind Jojo here.
Immediately looking for Jojo. Hexagol Ultimatum available to Broken Blade. The Realm War. Jojo's going to try and flash back into it, but the Hexagol Ultimatum comes out, and Jojo cannot escape. Caps gets the kill, 1-0-2 now on Azari.
I do wonder if he messed up the timing there, because the timing of the flash just seemed that he was a little bit coming off cooldown a little bit faster than they actually are in-game. Right now, Jojo is still about halfway with both his flash.
Lebrov going in for the hook here. Charm's going to land as well onto Alvaro. Knocked up in the bouncy castle. Dawning Shadow coming out as well, and Alvaro's first fall in the fight. Elioya on the retreat. Jojo on the backline, but he doesn't land the overload onto Skewmond. Hooked out of the Realm Warp. Super now stepping forward into the last embrace. He pops the barrier to heal to try and mitigate some of this damage, but he just can't do it. Cap still chases forward, and Elioya through the flash still die.
G2 get everything they need in that fight, picking off all the men
beautifully. Hans Sama and his positioning was just ruthless. The instant cleanse that came out from him as well to then reset and continue to dish out damage. Caps getting an extra cast of his ultimate. Alvaro is hovering around. It looks like that there's not going to be another fight to kick this one off, but Alvaro getting caught at the start, not really having that good engage, is what I think made things very difficult for MKOI.
I think it also, again, is just kind of showing
his TP is up.
As is Caps, but doesn't look like MKOI are going to fight this because they got the second Drake. This isn't soul points or anything for G2, so they can delay. Infernal Dragon going over to G2. About a 3,000, 2,000 gold lead for them right now as Mirwin maybe caught out a little bit. Skewmond's on the chase. There's the Hexagol Ultimatum to lock Mirwin up. Skewmond comes in. Public execution through the Cyclone goes unstoppable, but the chase continues and Broken Blade finds his man.
Yeah, a good pick from G2, but we might have an answer on the top side as Alvaro actually has to run away. Lebrov with a good reset and move to the top side to keep Cap safe on the counterplay.
Now with the Herald coming down in bot lane, G2 looking to get their second tower of the game. MKOI unable to take one as of yet. Ooh, where are we driving? Okay, Skewmon.
Huge. Like, it's really difficult for MKOI, feels like, to fight at the moment because, yes, Motor's hitting that 2-2-5 spot, but he just doesn't really have the items to be a massive menace in these fights yet.
Hook's gonna land. Jojo Kun immediately walking out. Elioya's caught up in the midst of 4 members of G2. And he is slain. G2 with good vision control. Catch Elioya wanting in his own jungle. Jojo puts some damage back into Skewmon, but at the moment, G2 just run the map.
It feels as though Koi, I mean, they feel very invisible right now. G2 is the one. Ooh.
Magnustorm goes in. Super's on his way across here as well. Super's going to start sneezing on them. Flashes forward, looking for Lebrov here as well. Runwalk coming out as Alvaro and Super will follow it. Caps, though, has the Spirit Rush. Flash Room Prison. Can Caps get away? No, pull back. MKOI find 2.
This is the play we wanted to see from MKOI. A fantastic engage from Alvaro. Connects onto 4 members of G2 and it gives Koi an opportunity to force a fight. Super picks up a bunch of kills. Jojo gets one for himself. And they just barely keep that. Oh, never mind. MKOI, though, with a fantastic fight.
Huge fight for MKOI and exactly what they needed. And to get a ton of gold onto key carries right before this upcoming fight as well. But great engage from Alvaro. The flash forward sets up perfectly. Jojo there to follow. Then the slow across multiple people as well here was just huge. And again, the Realm Warp usage from Jojo setting up then to pick off Caps as well. And now it's back to life, as you can see in the bottom left corner. Dragon going to be picked up here by MKOI thanks to that great engagement.
Skewmon doesn't have the Cyclone and no flash on him or Caps would make it very difficult for them to fight around this Drake. It will be 2 apiece in terms of the Wyverns between these 2 teams. Only 1,000 gold in it now. And the question for G2 is this the turning of the tide?
Well, I think the fact that Super got so many of that...
Fantastic engaged player, and he's someone that will not miss those windows to find a fight for his team, and this might be another one.
TP behind here as Mirwin's going deep. Broken Blade trying to trade with Jojo, as Lebrov is the one who's caught out first. Summer next up, Alvaro going a little bit deep as Caps. TP is behind them, and MKOI are fighting a 3v4, and Caps is here to surprise them. G2 find 3 already. Mirwin trying to get his way out of here. Broken Blade still chasing forward. Mirwin had to flash the charm. Does not connect from Caps, but G2 will continue the pressure. Last embrace in. Jojo turns it around. Mirwin dives in with a public execution. Might be able to kill Lebrov as well. Can't quite. G2 find 5 for 1.
MKOI thought they had the jump, but they were just a bit too far away. G2 collapse faster and they get the kills they need.
Just as I was praising Koi's ability to find fights, they find a fight that they ultimately didn't want. You guys already highlighted that they didn't quite have the numbers.
On the center gives you another bonus.
G2 in a commanding position right now. The Baron going to be their main focus as they leave Broken Blade off in the side lane.
Who deals with him now?
Well, I mean, it's funny to think that Broken Blade played the opposite side of this matchup, and before it was all those resources that he was getting from Skewmon to shut down the Camille. This is what the matchup looks like when you get given all those resources. Alvaro, he's hesitant, he gets charmed.
Charmed through the wall, Alvaro pulled back, good shadowing strike, jumps in with Magnustorm, doing a shadow out there for the shield as well. Mirwin dives onto the back line, and Summer's already dead. Lebrov follows suit, Super's found 2, he's looking to make it 3, and Skewmon's next on the menu. Jojo will secure that one, but the Hexagolden Maiden from Broken Blade chases Super through his flash over the wall. In the end, a 3 for 2.
I mean, it looks like a good engage from G2, but Alvaro uses it as an opportunity to force a fight. MKOI are very quick to react, and taking out G2's game is over just yet.
Yeah, and Mirwin has definitely gone for this build, which is, hey, I want to try and one-shot Hansam or one-shot someone that has that, or is on the back line. And,
flash hook onto Alvaro, goes in with the Magnustorm. Hansama immediately flashes away. Mom's called down, Broken Blade chasing. Super out of the back of the fight, but there's good stun onto him from Elioya. Super still down, Caps now dancing forward. Broken Blade will fall. Jojo gets the massive shutdown from that, but it might be too little too late. It's a triple for Skewmon. Only Mirwin left alive. G2 wipe him away.
There's just not enough on MKOI to stop the dive from G2. Broken Blade, Skewmon.
And then it just becomes a clean-up fight. They end up losing Broken Blade, but the trade is worth it as they find themselves an ace and a Baron.
And now they're pushing forward for another inhibitor tower. It's Caps on his lonesome. The rest of G2 are back in base, apart from Hansama, who's just clearing out some vision around mid, it seems. Second inhibitor tower down. 21 kills a minute across their 2 series so far. Obviously, whatever practice they were doing during the regular season that Dylan Falco talked about is coming to the fore right now. MKOI, no slouches themselves, but in this game, just seem to have struggled to find too much
jump over walls. Like, there's very few obstacles that really stand in their way.
Right now, G2 pushing in 3 different lanes. Caps is up in the top side. Broken Blade going to be stopped by Mirwin down towards that bottom side. Remember, no inhibitor tower down there. Inhibitor in the mid lane will fall as Caps uses the minions to take the inhib tower in top. Inhib in bot falls, and MKOI getting down to the last dregs of hope in this game. Really have to force an engage at some point.
Yeah, I think it's just becoming too difficult. They can try with some of the wave clear, but barred up, it makes it very, very difficult, and you still got another 2 waves that are going to come barreling through before you can even deal with them, so
I think it does go down. Obviously, double super minions in the next few waves as Caps goes in with the Spirit Rush, lands the charm only onto Elioya. Doesn't get much out of it. Was looking for Jojo. Doesn't have his flash right now. Hook's going to go in. Jojo puts some big damage down onto Caps, but he's able to Spirit Rush away. Alvaro already down, and now G2 trying to push in with a man advantage. The Nexus Tower is their target. Broken Blade steps in with that precision protocol. Does so much damage to the tower. No minions left for G2, though. Another hook going in from LeBron, but immediately he's burst down. A 4 for 4 now as MKOI hold on to their base. Or at least their Nexus Towers. Caps looking for another charm. G2 will retreat.
Elioya had the ultimate if he wanted to follow, but I think he would have left Super a little bit on his lonesome if that was the case. Although, still wandering into his jungle, needs to be a little careful.
This Smolder. It's going to do a huge amount of damage. You can see Hans Sommer getting chipped a little bit. Jojo flashing forward. Hans with the cleanse. Hook coming out from LeBron to stop the Magnet Storm. Skewmon now chasing onto Jojo, but he has the Seraph's shield. Is it enough? Not quite. Caps already got a double as Super, Elioya, and Mirwin retreat to the safety of their Nexus Towers, but I'm not sure they'll be safe for much longer. Broken Blade flashes in. Mirwin caught out. Broken Blade still has that G8. Caps will get another. Grand Starfall back in from Elioya. Super pops the Seekers on his fountain, just trying to survive. He'll take out Caps, but now he's looking at a 1v4, and even he can't stand against it. G2 will open up the series 1-0.
And overall, but then they can't actually convert it into a fight. So by prioritizing the Leona, I do just like this a lot more, because once that poke does connect, they at least have a tool to force the fight
up, so he'll be fine. But I like the ideas here from Skewmon of, hey, is there any wiggle room that I can have? But push him mid.
Oh, Caps shuffled back, flashes away from Alvaro, who's still on the chase. The seismic shuffle will knock him back, but the Zenith Blade still connects with the Root Caller down. Jojo will be gifted first blood.
Nice gank from Koi as they set up Jojo for success. In the previous, it's something we've seen G2 do a lot with their Scion drafts, where they deliberately move him into the difficult matchups to try and put things like the Jace behind. And I think that that's Koi's focus, is that they want to make sure that they're keeping Mirwin into that Scion matchup so that he can continue to build advantages. And right now,
so then you can stop G2 from just being able to take these quick moves in towards the side lane, because they want to try and shut down Mirror.
Oh, Skewmon's going for this. Hound's Pursuit in. A Broken Blade looking at the unstoppable onslaught as well. Can't quite connect onto Mirwin, but remember, this Jace has no flash, and Skewmon and Broken Blade should be able to chase him down. The first kill of the game for G2 goes to Skewmon.
I mean, the gank is very simple, and there's not much that MKOI could cross-map.
Broken Blade able to flash to safety. The Seraph's already complete on him, gives him the shield after the fact. As Broken Blade continues to trade into Jojo. BB, predominantly armor on him, but Skewmon has the damage to follow up, and BB has the health. Unstoppable Onslaught immediately in. Jojo does still have the flash here, but doesn't burn it early. Hound's Pursuit there for the follow-up. Jojo slides his way away, but the chase continues from Skewmon.
I mean, this G2 top jungle duo is getting work done on the side lane. Their second kill of the game. They will also secure the first tower of the game for G2 as well. And it comes back to the side lanes. It was the story of game one, it's becoming the story of game two. And when we look at the minimap, we can see that, again, in terms of the lane assignments, it's G2 that's just that step ahead as Hans Sommer continues that pressure on the bot side and secures another tower. One that has a jungler there, and then you work with the prio that they have to play towards these towers. But instead, Skewmon is just ganking, and then Hans and LeBron are getting that pressure by themselves. Now, the Herald started. Let's see if G2 look for a fight.
I mean, LeBron's already stepping in. There's a TP as well from Broken Blade. Super down to half HP. LeBron, the first target. Unbreakable Will coming out from him. Broken Blade finishes the teleport. Daisy shoved back. Skewmon on his way across after securing the second dragon. True Shot Barrage dodged there by LeBron. Emperor's Divide available for Jojo, but no flash to get that slide and glide in.
Overall, the health advantage in favor of MCOY.
Plays works his way down towards bot side. Does have that unstoppable onslaught. Skewman can eviscerate out of the back of the pit here if needs be. There's the unstoppable onslaught from Broken Blade to try and join in. LeBrock jumps forward. No unbreakable will for him. Broken Blade a long way behind enemy lines here. Alvaro goes in with the Zenith Blade, but not real much follow-up from MKOI. Skewman gets the Rift Herald as Alvaro falls down to 100 HP. Broken Blade still damn tanky. The Weaver's wall coming out as Cap separates the fight. Broken Blade on the wrong side of that wall. LeBrock jumps back in, and there's another as JoJo falls. Skewman's still chasing the Hounds. They're out for blood. They're out to party. And he dashes away, but you can't escape the wolves. True Shot Barrage just not clipping the heels of Hans Summer. G2 clean up the fight.
Getting incredibly lucky with that Caps ultimate because it knocked him over the blue pit wall, which then separated him from everyone else. But here we go.
Mirwin has the flash, will use it just in time to get away from the seismic shot, but the chase continues here. LeBron with a headbutt pulverize into the trample stun, and Caps throws a rock at him, and Mirwin is done.
That's where the hell has this G2 been all year? What the hell is going on? Playoffs hits and suddenly G2. They look unstoppable.
It's really impressive to me the way in which they're just avoiding all of this poke. You're playing against Ezreal, Azir, Jace, and at no point does it feel like that their long-range threats are really that threatening.
Through the chicane round, he gets it! And now he's in the middle of MCOY. I don't think he gives a damn. Merc Tread's already complete, has the Aegis as well. Super has to flash away. LeBron on the backline now. Root Caller, Daisy will get a knock up onto him. I don't really think he cares too much. True Shot Barrage comes out. He does pop the Unbreakable Will just to make sure that he survives through any more. Meanwhile, while all of this is happening, G2 take away the blue buff. They push in the top lane. They have a 6,500 gold lead with a minute 30.
There for G2, and I don't think MCOY are really in a position to try and contest this, so they will just pick up the waves as they can.
JoJo going back towards the top lane. Does have that Rylai's complete. We're seeing this a lot more after the AP item changes on 25.10. Nowhere near as strong as he would like to be. Super stacking up that mana. They're going to fight over this. Solar Flare on Summer just walks away from it.
G2 have split up here. This could be a good angle for
4,000
Koi.
on the other gun. Never mind. Never mind. The wall has been built. It's not blue, but it still keeps MKOI away from the Artican. G2 secure it. The Spirit blossoms, the petals, whatever, jump to 20.
On top. Mirwin has just kind of walked from bot lane up to his team. They haven't found anything, and now Sion can use this window to regroup with the team once. He may even actually just stay here to try and keep the pressure up. I mean, right now it's not all doom and gloom, of course. It's not, of course, all doom and gloom.
He's looking. He has the flash. Caps will try and flash away, but he doesn't escape. And as you say, it's not all doom and gloom at all as Caps is caught by MKOI. The shutdown goes over to JoJo.
And this is, again, what we needed to see from MKOI. Just pull the trigger. Don't let G2 play the map. Just try and force a pick. You have the tools to do it, and it's a really good pick to alleviate some of that pressure. Now they can reclaim. Hans Summer's pushed in another wave, and then they have the TP from the Sion, and Azir just showed up bot lane, who they know has no TP.
That's smart from G2. Immediately go towards the Baron.
This is how you play the map. Like, it's so flawlessly done. KOI don't have an answer. There isn't one.
And you even got LeBron just playing bouncer in every bush along the way as well. G2 setting up very well.
They're going for the fight afterwards. Weaver's wall going in. Super's going to have to jump the wall here. Alvaro the first to be caught outside. Shoved back towards Skewmond. Alvaro flashes over. Will escape for now. Good damage coming out from Super. Daisy in as well. LeBron looks for the knockback. JoJo with the Emperor's Divide. Broken Blade falling lower. The Redemption coming out as well, but it can't save JoJo. LeBron taken out. 1-for-1 so far in the exchange. Broken Blade flashes away. And we'll get to safety. Importantly, though, with Ocean Drake up, G2 won't be able to fight over Soul.
That play was nearly it from JoJo, so there's not really a huge amount of follow-up onto Alvaro for the beginning, and Super getting to free hood over the wall, whereas there's not much play back. And here, as he goes in, the invulnerability from Skewmon means that he doesn't get hit. Broken Blade the only one shoved in, so MKOI
to really lock down a kill. Of course, at the Baron, G2 immediately back out onto the map, but MKOI demonstrated right there that their team fighting is still very strong, and a large part of why G2
keeping the cannon minion as alive as possible. You can see Broken Blade just tanking up all the poke coming out from Super, but they have to wait for the next wave, and it looks like MKOI will back away. G2 will crack the tier 2, 30 seconds left. It's the last wave with which they can really push in towards the base. Broken Blade still very healthy, very tanky. Seismic Shove knocks Daisy back. Double cannons here.
Levy trying desperately to get the Demolish proc with those two cannons might be enough to take it down. Now he steps in.
He'll get the demolish, but look at the damage onto the tower. G2 will crack through the inhibitor tower line. Mirwin still looking for that flank, looking for the poke. Will take down a couple of the dogs, but not too much more. G2 rains an inhibitor to the ground, and now will been where they've thrived. Took D plus Kia to 5 games in the semi-finals back in 2021. G2 looking to set up around this Drake. MKOI trying to fight their way in, but they have no vision at all.
And MKOI are on a timer. Look at the top side. That wave double super creep's about to hit the towers.
Drake already down. G2 can look for the engage. Caps on a flank position here. And they don't really need to do too much more. MKOI couldn't fight their way through the tankiness of Broken Blade. Super Minions in the base. Caps has a Weaver's Wall. He's just looking instead for the bot lane tier 3.
I mean, Koi, they just can't get through the wall of Broken Blades, can they? The poke, I guess, is connecting, but not really, and now that poke really isn't going to stick with the Ocean Soul secured by G2 as well. The Baron going to be started off by the two of them. Koi will know that it's happening, and it looks like they'll go for a last-ditch effort.
I really loved G2's early game lane assignments, because it really felt like MKOI just were dizzy afterwards, and I think this is something that's been missing from G2's game plan, but not anymore when it gets to playoffs.
Broken Blade just steps forward. Solar Flame hits onto Caps, but all the hits after is a Mystic shot from Super. Good job threading the needle, but the damage doesn't matter. Yeah, as you say, basically back to full with that Ocean Soul. Skewmond is pushing it through on that mid wave. Only has one cannon minion here, and JoJo's doing a good enough job of keeping him at bay, but with the top lane inhibitor respawning substantial, Skewmond is pushing in the wave in that top side. Obviously, very slippery if MKOI do engage on him as JoJo goes in, finds the flash out of Hans Summer. Chain of Crunch is going to land, but Hans is down already as JoJo finds one. Broken Blade trying to flash the wall. Unstoppable Onslaught slams into the face of JoJo. There's 2 for MKOI. Skewmond, Lebrov, and Caps have to walk away, but that's the engage MKOI have been waiting for.
I can't believe Faker found Ruler in the mid lane like that. It's absolutely insane, but JoJo...
Towards a position where it might be a little bit tricky for G2 to take the fights.
You're saying, but it's also like 5k is on this Skewmond.
Oh,
there's a base here.
Yeah,
MKOI have forgotten about the base. Is it the classic? Is it Elder for Nexus? Skewmond and Lebrov are trying to keep MKOI around the Elder Drake. G2 don't really have a wave. Alvaro stunning Skewmond, who jumps into the pit and will not land the smite. It's Alioya who gets it. Broken Blade tanking up the towers. Mirwin back in base. JoJo with a good Emperor survival. Keep Broken Blade at bay. Hans Summer and Caps, they're trying to shepherd in the wave here as the Nexus towers are their first target. Caps a little different mindset to Hans Summer and Broken Blade. MKOI get the Elder. They lose both their Nexus towers for it. Elioya on the chase here. Broken Blade doesn't have flash, will dodge the root caller and has a blast cone to get away.
This may have just changed the whole game.
They're on towards it. TP towards the top side from Caps though. G2 looking to potentially interrupt here, but I think they're too late.
I think Caps will poke his head in, and that's about it. You can see Broken Blade and Hans Summer just catching them wave in mid, making sure that's pushed up.
To realistically draw you out of the base means that G2, they can try some funny business, but the timing window for that is going to be slipping away.
Well, the Baron expires in 40 seconds time. Elder up in 2.5. The Rob going in. Caps caught out by Super. JoJo slides forward, but Caps flashes across the wall. The Rob with the Unbreakable will keep himself alive for now. Alvaro, the first target here for G2, and they will take him down. MKOI look for a little bit of an engage, and they lose their support for it.
A very close fight that almost ends in Caps losing his life. He does have to lose his flash, but Alvaro committing to the fight. There was little that he could go. Koi wasn't prepared to follow up in that exchange.
Keep Hans Summer at bay down towards this bottom side. Skewmond, though, using the Hounds effectively to block those Mystic shots. JoJo knocked up. Unstoppable Onslaught, Chain of Corruption, stopwatch just in time to dodge the Decimating Smash as well. Caps on his way across. He's targeting the inhibitor first. The Rob will go down, and Alvaro's back alive. The inhibitor goes out as Skewmond now needs to eviscerate his way across the wall.
G2 jump onto JoJo, but they don't actually have a damage source behind them. It's a Scion.
Flashes up for most people. We see JoJo and Caps don't have theirs. Broken Blade doesn't have his either. MKOI are the first to gain control of the river, but they do need to be careful because their base is laid bare. Those Nexus towers, at least not respawned on the mini-map as far as I can see. Caps chunked out, the Elder now spawning.
You still have to be careful of that bottom wave, though. Super Creep's going to do work. Poke doing work as well here for G2.
Super jumps into the pit. Decimating Smash coming out from Broken Blade. He's stunned up by Alvaro. Skumon looking to jump into the back of it. Chain of Corruption hits onto Jojo, but the Emperor's Divide pushes Lebrov back. Broken Blade low, and Super continues to open up. Caps diving onto Alvaro on the backside, and Skumon dives in. Jojo falling lower. Skumon able to take him out in time. Broken Blade surviving as well, and the Ocean Soul is doing so much work for G2. Super trying to hit Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot, but there's nothing mystical about how damn tanky Broken Blade is. Elioya dies, G2 survive, and they TP into the base.
The health bars are just too much. There is not enough in the tank to take down the tank. And with Jojo gone, so are MKOI's chances.
Only Mirwin stands, he's knocked up, he's locked up, and he's shut out of the game. G2, for moments it looked like MCOY had found their miracle, but G2 aren't praying to the same god you are. They will go 2-0 up in the series.
A valiant defense from MKOI. Only when you have Kaiser Yone as your priority, you know, we were already talking a lot about the dive, and then Rumble also complements that they wanted to prioritize because they knew that G2 would ban it in the second phase.
The fact you got the Hollow Shroud and that skip and slash to very quickly close the distance without taking much damage.
Jojo Caps immediately onto Jojo. Tibbers doesn't do too much by himself, but Caps is there with the Disintegrate to get the kill. Meanwhile, Alvaro's met up with Skumon. Mirwin looking for the flank position here. Hansama working his way down from the top side. Alvaro not yet level 6. Frozen Domain down. He flashes over the wall. Hansama not going to flash to follow him. The Void Glob's taken by Elioya, and he starts to walk out. Caps doesn't have that stun charged up. Lebrov on the Equalizer flashes over the wall. Should survive through that burn. Escape from Elioya. Clean enough, as even the pillar can't stop him.
I know I can one-shot you.
Lebrov pulled back with a handshake as Elioya is doing the Drake here. Teleport coming in from Jojo towards that top side, and as soon as G2 see it, they're thinking, well, can we take a fight around this Drake right now? Answer is not quite. Alvaro clipped. Caps goes in with the sun. Overheat on Mirwin. Glacial Fisher down, but Mirwin able to escape at the luxury of his rocket belt. Kill him, right? And that could definitely work, right? Trundle running in there. You can isolate someone really quickly with the pillar. As Broken Blade's a little bit isolated up towards the top side here. Only has that exhaust. Gonna go drowsy. Even through the Hallow Mist, there's the Fate Sealed, and there's no real escape here for Broken Blade as Jojo chases him down. Even through the healing, it won't be enough. Elioya gets the first kill of the game.
When he gets to a point where, especially against Caps, he has, like, saying, a Hex Drink or even a Wit's End or something, it's going to make it difficult for Caps, I think, to win that 1v1 anymore, but here we go.
Wait, he can kill Jojo.
He can kill Jojo, and he does that, and then flashes away from the Blooming Bursts and escapes Elioya's clutches.
The only
This
reason
wave does have the teleport as well if there is a fight around the dragon in 10 seconds time. Broken Blade gonna base. Alvaro caught out with the Winter's Bite, but Elioya's coming across. Lebrov will stand beside his friend as Hansama goes in. Exhaust used in the top side as the needles come out from Broken Blade, but he doesn't connect onto Mirwin, who dodges away. TP as well from Broken Blade as he goes to top. Counter TP coming out from Caps. The Equalizer dodged away from Jojo, will be able to get one, and he jumps out with the Fate Sealed. Rift Herald charging down the mid lane as well as Elioya uses this moment to put it to work.
Oh, the pillar
stops it in its tracks. And
Super is keeping the mid wave contested, meaning there's going to be no challenge, but G2 aren't going to not do anything in response as they set their sights on the tier 1 in the top lane.
Trundle still does Trundle things when he's left alone in tower, so able to get Caps' help to take that one down, but
in the end, MKOI don't want to push their luck any further. Haven't had a chance to reset since that slew of action earlier on. Super stepping in here. Blade Caller, only 2 blades coming back, so Hansama won't be able to get the root. Mirwin trying to get away from this with the Rocket Belt, but Lebrov and Skumon are here quickly to collapse. The feats of warfare go over to G2, claiming their 3rd kill of the match.
Good collapse from G2, catching out Mirren as he started to step up. No flash available, and now G2 starting to move into the jungle here. See if they can steal away a few of these camps, get that bot lane turret. Try and set up Broken Blade for a little bit more success, and what has not been the best of times for him in the matchup.
That's just a tempo-stopping Glacial Fisher right there. It's like, excuse me, Alvaro, you are not allowed to back. I see you're low on mana. We have Gwen pushing in the bot lane. We are going to keep this pressure up.
Frozen Domain back, yeah.
The power of putting those extra points into the W. G2 get their tier 2, and with it about a 2,000 gold lead as Jojo answered with only 1 tower in response. Pings come out from MKOI though towards that mid lane turret, thinking that if they can get this wave in quickly enough, maybe they can crack through the tier 1 of G2.
So, of course, Jojo's been sitting on the blade for a little while now, but Caps just goes back to base and he picks himself up.
It'll be G2 start the dragon.
There's a little bit of vision for G2 up towards the tri-bush in the top side. You can see a couple of pings coming out from MKOI, maybe thinking we can sneak away this Artican while this happens, but Lebrov there, smart enough to realize that MKOI were making their way towards that top side. And we'll clear out the vision. Hits Alvaro with a Winter's Bite.
Very difficult to be able to force your way into that position, because if you do walk into a Yoya, he will tear through you, especially even with Skewmon going towards this more armor build. So you got to be very careful about how you do it. So everyone's
flash.
ward is shallows.
For Mirwin again, they know their target, and Mirwin is locked up. The Flame Spitter not enough to burn through anyone on G2. Caps now 3-0.
Well, that's the payoff from getting the flash from earlier. As they catch him in the river with no means of escape, it opens up the Arakan. And it's an interesting game state just because there's so few engaged supports. The junglers aren't the best engaged tools. There's no tanky top lane to stop.
They're going to rely now on Jojo Pion to push in on this bottom side, look for the trade on the towers, but not really much that can happen.
Oh, Alvaro steps forward again. Has to burn the flash, but the Tibbers is there to follow up. Equalizer out. TP coming in from Jojo. As MKOI look for a little bit more, but I don't think they're going to find it. Second time we've seen Alvaro caught out just around that corner in this series. Skewmon able to dodge away from the Q3 out of Jojo. All this while, Broken Blade pushing in that top lane, has a wave crashing on the tier 2.
And this is what I was talking about. MKOI are so squishy. Trying to retake vision is incredibly dangerous for them with Broken Blade.
He stayed around a long time here. Needlework dodges the fate sealed, skip and slash, looking for the slows. Killer Instinct not going to come in quite yet, as there's the exhaust, but there's the Killer Instinct from Super. And BB just oversteps.
Completely agree, Medic. There was no
CC train from G2, well, notably Caps as well, and give him the ability to snap back. So you're starting to see kind of key pickups on the items for MKOI, especially with 3 items now for Super start to come through.
He's super aware of what you can and cannot do, and it's going to be those opportunities that ultimately decide the outcome of this game. Skewmon testing the waters in the river. The tower finally going to drop 30 minutes in. But G2 will finally take down that structure. All the while, Broken Blade has been left isolated.
We just start to take over the matchup as Broken Blade, and it becomes way more difficult for Mirwin to go toe-to-toe as
Jojo looking for something. Tibbers coming out as they try and get onto Alvaro, but the hostile takeover is gonna change their minds. Fate sealed a takeover from MKOI. Broken Blade will get Alvaro on the backside. Skewmon looking for if he can get back and help his top laner. The Seekers already paying off for BB as he dives onto Super. But the moment of silence was not enough for Broken Blade. G2 lose 3 in the fight. MKOI turn their eyes.
G4 a steal. He has the flash available.
As a control ward as well, puts it into the pit right now. Elioya will clear that out as quickly as possible. Jojo jumps across the wall. Feathers fly from Hansama. And in flies Super. Skewmon flashes towards his red buff pit, but that pillar of filth is not filthy at all. MKOI, a delayed ace onto G2. They'll claim the Baron and they'll claim the gold lead.
it was a long
that it hits. Pillar coming out from Skewmon for a little bit of vision. Jojo coming up through the river. Mirwin looking for a flank position, currently around the Razor Beaks, looking for the Electro Harpoons. Can't quite connect on them. Broken Blade now joins the Barney as G2 realize this is their moment to fight. Baron expires in 40 seconds time. The Drake up in 1. Skewmon stepping forward through that frozen domain. Mirwin still looking for the equalizer. The Drake down to 9,000 HP as Alvaro's first target. Hostile takeover blocked by Lebrov. Dodges away from the needlework. The Lilting Lullaby used as well. The Dragon still at 8,000. Redemption coming out as Lebrov is healed up. Handshaken back though and falls to the equalizer. G2 lose their support and can't find a way into the fight. Jojo dives forward and immediately locks up 2. Mirwin finds a double. Super finds a third. Skewmon next on the menu. Make it 4. The Tibbers chasing Super through the supercharge. Won't be enough. And now Caps is in a 1v1 versus Elioya. He doesn't need to kill him. He just needs to delay. The blooming burst across the wall. Elioya, watch out. Eep. Caps is down. An ace for MKOI. And the base in their eyes.
A perfectly played team fight from MKOI. The layering of the CC, the way that they just picked apart G2. MKOI looking to begin their reverse sweep.
In English, we say reverse sweep. In Spanish, we say reverse sweep, apparently. As MKOI will find a win in this series. Lebrov trying to do everything he can to delay. But we are going to game 4. As MKOI stands strong.
Jojo steps up.
Chaos Storm plus bullets bullet time.
That's the
But
one.
I just all I thought of Curse of the Bullet Time, you know?
Yes, Curse of the Bullet Time, yeah.
But yeah, trade back and forth with nothing too scary happening as the Dragon gets kicked off.
MKOI are trying to get fancy with the way they're playing these lane assignments though. They swap Soup up to the top side to kind of bait Handsam into going up there. Immediately look for the reset. They also send Alvaro towards the mid lane to try and defend Jojo Pyun because there's a bit nervous about Lebrov coming in with the combo. And now off of that they're able to get
secured. Both teams will now be tied at 1 apiece as Broken Blade continues to scale up on the Swain. And this is the thing that we kind of
Adoration. Proc yet hasn't managed to get those stacks cashed in. Sitting on about 800 gold right now as Skumon caught out in trying to invade this red. Still stepping forward with Lebrov coming in from the side as well. Super's going to be caught. Rocket punch, rocket grab, Hansama, we talk about adoration. He looks for the whirling death, he gets it, 700 gold. Alongside the kill into his pockets, make it a double. As he fills up his bank, 2-0.
And then you unlock Mirren to try and bring out some of his own picks that unfortunately we haven't really seen in this series, and now struggling against Broken Blade and into Caps. It's not great.
Lebrov looking for the static field into rocket grab, doesn't land it. Mirren's now on the other side of the wall, has the all out and will bring Lebrov back. G2 TP'd in Broken Blade, but I'm gonna get anything out of it. Lebrov just a bit deep chasing Alvaro.
Nguyen gets MKOI on the board at the very least. It's going to be a Herald traded for a kill. It's some much needed gold as well into the pocket of Nguyen. The tankier he gets, the harder of a time Broken Blade's going to have. Caps, it looks like he's in danger, but he's not really. He's got so many disengaged tools that he's going to be perfectly fine. I wonder if a reset's going to come through for him. No, instead Skumon's here to offer his assistance.
Oh, super barrier. Another auto Hans needs another pop. Blossom takes him under the tower. He'll fall for it. Alvaro gets 640 gold alongside the bounty there. Meanwhile, in the top side, I think Skumon was looking for that Nature's Grasp.
I'm gonna say that I didn't think the play from Hansam was really worth it just because of the shutdown gold, but I guess you can argue giving that shutdown gold over towards the support rather than someone else is better than nothing, and you also force
pushed out by Jojo anyway.
Take a breather.
We can.
Just enjoy the
atmosphere.
And they can set their sights on this last Adder tower.
Yeah, check the Rift Tower down. Mirren realizes immediately he has to ghost away. You look for the hook, but he always has that Pathfinder as well, which avoids the CC.
I think it's just really interesting to see though when you look at like start of Spring Split versus now, how regularly Lebrov and Skumon are just on the same screen. Like it wasn't exactly like they were terrible at the...
Adakan being available topside means that G2 have another objective to play for. Might instead be a fight. They see Elyoya here.
Skumon looking for him. Glacial Prism going down. There's the bullet time into the Pop Blossom. A lot of damage going down onto Lebrov. The hook goes wide in the end, but Elyoya falls second as Lebrov and Elyoya down. MKOI able to back away. In the end, that bullet time, not enough damage.
Just stand in the front line and not really worry about the damage.
Him and Skumon just stand in front and hope that they can survive through while Caps and Hansama really open up. If Lebrov can find a hook, obviously it changes the outlook of a fight quite dramatically. Caps beginning to do some damage to Mirren as well. Rocket jump forward, takes a short leap, just a short hop there as he continues to put the damage into Mirren. That lethal tempo helping him out quite a lot. Jojo will take the tower on the bottom side. Whirling Death coming out, but that's a whirling whiff from Hansama as he was expecting Mirren maybe to back underneath his tower. But look, Caps, 5 seconds with the turret, it's already down below half HP.
I mean, Caps has always been known for being a monster Tristana player, especially with how he plays it on a side lane. He's found a number of solo kills in the past in the champion. It's been a little quiet this game, but oh, it's Jojo in trouble.
He has the flash, he doesn't use it. Flash forward, twisted advanced TPs coming out from MCOY as they try and defend their mid laner, but he's dead on arrival. Good Glacial Prison onto Broken Blade, keeps Mirwin from getting caught out in the middle of G2. Broken Blade a little deep here. Alvo could look for the Pop Blossom lands. Tangle Barbs, but doesn't follow up any further.
And Caps is still top. So there goes your tier 2, there goes your Dragon, and you just off of a nice pick on towards Jojo as they just move from that mid lane to catch him on the side.
The game is just falling apart now for Koi, and it hasn't even been due to a decisive fight. It's just been G2 finding pace across the solo.
Okay, cool. He's going to have help, but he could have soloed it, and that's the important thing.
They all walk away.
Oh, jumps onto Jojo, but flashes away, gets the reset on the rocket jump. And that's the buster shot if I've ever seen it. Jojo sent packing back to the fountain. Articon into Baron, mayhaps? You got TP on Caps. G2 just explode the map.
And just like that, all it takes is a single solo kill. Caps, he's going to go back to base. He has the TP available. This Baron getting very low.
Already down to 5,000. Elioya trying to get into the pit, but Labrov is keeping him at bay. There's the Niche Cross as well. TP behind by Caps. Elioya rooted up. The Vision of Empire full. The follow-up. Pulled back with the never move. Elioya not given the chance to escape. And Caps has got the top laner too. Pops the Oracle's Pathfinder will find you nothing. The flash hook. Flash away from Alvaro. G2 finds so much in the last minute and a half.
That's supposed to be the tank that Caps just ripped through. There is nobody on MCOY that can stand against this Tristana, and it feels like MCOY just can't stand against G2 right now.
From a solo kill into a Baron after just soloing the Articon. I mean, G2 in such a narrow window blew this game so widely open in their favor. Another tower is going to fall as well. What was a 5K gold lead now has ballooned into...
It's going to be 10K.
That is a 10K gold lead. Zillion, and have made it difficult for G2 to close out a game. We'll see if they can do it again. Jojo steps up.
Broken Blade, Demonic Ascension. Takes a lot of damage out of Jojo, but doesn't take too much damage himself. He tanks them up for an absolute Ice Age. Caps pushing in the mid lane as well. That inhibits tower short to fall. G2 pushing in through the bottom side. Caps already on the inhib. Hansama steps up. Not to be outdone by his mid lane. He wants a bit of turret damage himself. They only have the cannon minion here. The wave on its way though. There's the inhib in mid. There's the inhibitor tower in top. And MKOI finally regrouped, trying to defend.
How do you kill them? A Broken Blade's TP back in, he's full health, he's going to escort the wave in with G2 and they're looking for the end.
Nature's Grass coming out, everyone stands behind Mirwin. Glacial Prison is going to connect onto Labrov, but that's about it. They're looking for an Alvaro Shape Splitter, looking for an Alvaro Pop Blossom here, try and get into the back of the enemy team, but Alvaro doesn't have flash and that makes it even more difficult.
G2 will be happy with the damage that was done. The Dragon is spawning in 5 seconds. Nexus towers and that top lane tower and inhibitor. Koi are going to have to find one crazy fight to turn this game around, but it's a 3.9.
Only half of Mirwin's health. With not even using the buster shot. Oh, the flash hook. Jojo's down. Pop Blossom only landing onto Broken Blade, and now the chase begins onto Super. Caps up comes in from the side to clean things up. Looking for Mirwin as well. He finds his way into an early grave. G2 wipe away MKOI in game 5.
They make it look easy. It's 3-1 will be the score, and G2, they're setting their sights on the spring finals.
Who else?
Finals and MSI.
Who else but G2 into the finals once again as they wait